Right, so now the trial is over with, and I'm in segment Bring in the Clowns Act 2. And in the event that you were not privileged to the first Bring in the Clowns, I've taken that title from the song by Judy Collins going back, 30, 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago, called Send in the Clowns. And if you're not aware of it, I would ask you to check it out. It's a beautiful song. But let me just read the words to it. And Judy Collins, extraordinary performer. Send in the Clowns. She starts out, isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clowns? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair. Sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault I fear. I thought you would want what I want, sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Don't bother Al Sharpton and Ben Crump. They are here. All right, okay. So my virtuoso there. So here, it appears to me that to be killed by a white police officer gives you automatic sainthood. I understand that there are people who are never going to appreciate me. I understand that. I know that. They don't have the intellectual cognitive strength to be able to do so. That's the only reason why. But, these people who get killed by the police officers, all of a sudden, their family members from all over everywhere talking about how great they were. The world's greatest father. Oh, he was the world's greatest brother. Oh, he had the broadest smile. He was the kindest person. It goes on and on. You have to get your raincoat and your boots and your fireman's hat out. There's so much feces coming out, and it is knee deep. The stuff that they say about these dead people get killed by the police. They put wings on George Floyd. I mean, just 2 days earlier, he was high on methamphetamine and fentanyl and was passing $20 bills. Do angels get high on methamphetamine? Fentanyl? Do angels pass $20 bills? I mean, okay, listen, well, let's be clear. Now, let's be clear. George Floyd was murdered, ain't no doubt about it. And Derek Chauvin gonna get his up and coming. And thank God, no, he's guilty. No doubt about that. But let's get real here. Come on, we talking. Do you put wings on a man who would just pass the $20 bill, high on fentanyl and methamphetamine and a bunch of other things? Yeah, I mean, come on now. Come on. The greatest father that ever walked the planet Earth, right? He has changed the world. Now this is going to get a whole lot of, black people going to get mad enough to chew 10-penny nails. Why are you talking? He dead man. I'm just saying what they're saying about a dead man. I'm asking you a question. Did the fact that he was killed by a police officer make him a saint? Because I can tell you this right now, that every last one of those family members jumping up and down, Mr. Engineer, put up that screen. Every last one of them family members jumping up and down now, talking about how great he was. I don't know, but I've had drug addicts in my family. And we usually don't want to see them. We don't want them coming to Thanksgiving dinner. We don't, when they call the phone, we don't answer because they know they're up after something. So maybe This drug, not drug dealer, but I'm sorry, drug user, people addicted to drugs. They could get that straight. I've had people addicted to drugs in my family, and you know, we're not, you know, we kind of, so that's him on the phone, don't answer. Oh, Lord, we hope he ain't coming to Thanksgiving dinner. But these people are treating George Floyd like he is higher up in the rank of angels than Michael and Gabriel. You know, all of a sudden, now the other thing is that all these so-called cousins and nephews and brothers who wouldn't have nothing to do with him today on May 24th, 2020, now they only got part of that $26 million settlement. Everybody got new clothes, and I don't begrudge them doing that. No praise all. We buy all the new clothes, new houses, new cars, and $26 million. Knock yourself out, homie. And everybody getting a little taste of it. Well, that's good. They even started a George Floyd Foundation where you can pour money. That's good. I may even send $1 myself. I don't know. I doubt it, but I might. You never know. But here come the clowns. Here they come. Clown number one and clown act number two is Al Sharpton. Here, there he is. Look at him. There he was. You know, there was a photo of Al Sharpton getting ready to board a private jet. Al took a private jet out to Minnesota the other day to be able to be out there. Al Sharpton, clown number one. All right, there he is. And he's doing his whole thing. Clown number two is that Ben Crump boy. You know, Ben Crump was born in North Carolina, not too down in Lumberton, right next to me. I'm sorry, I almost want to say I wasn't born in North Carolina. Now that he was born there. Anyway, we were born in the same county. But Ben, clown number two. So here they go. All this yesterday was 1 hour of absolute. First of all, they shouldn't let everybody speak. And by the way, you know, can I go back to this question just once again about why is it that when you get killed by a white police officer, automatically you're a saint? I mean, they did the same thing about Michael Brown in Kenosha the other year, remember, Wisconsin, right? It was at Ferguson, Missouri. Yeah. They made him he had dropped out of high school. He'd done a whole lot of other things. So obviously there's a lot of fraud going on. And I can understand you want to speak well of the dead. But you don't have to lie. Lying about the dead is worse than killing the dead. You know, I've always raised this question, perhaps because I figure, well, you know, the Hamite people, they don't jiggy with me. But, you know, I raised the question, why is it they're talking about George Floyd is the new Emmett Till? George Floyd, let me just say something to y'all. Y'all weren't around in 1955. George Floyd ain't no Emmett Till. I can tell you that right now. That the circumstances are completely different. He ain't no Emmett Till. But they not satisfied with putting wings on George Floyd, making him a saint. No, they ain't putting him in a casket bigger and longer and whiter. No, they done put George Floyd in a casket and a horse-drawn carriage bigger and badder than John Kennedy or Martin King. But they ain't satisfied. Now they want him to be Emmett Till. They just keep looking for some way to justify this boy. George Floyd ain't no Emmett Till. So let's be clear about that. And stop disturbing the image of Emmett Till with the likes of a George Floyd, all right? But, you know, I noticed they stay away from Malcolm, though, you know? I noticed that. And here's a question that comes around if you follow my thesis here. You know, the reason why they don't raise Malcolm up as a saint, you know, because Malcolm was killed by black people. Oh, you didn't know that? Let me tell you something, my brother, my sister. Let me pull your coat to something about Hamite people. You only are worth something if I don't care if the white man is poor as Job Turkey, ain't got no teeth in his mouth, chews tobacco, and smokes cigarettes, barefoot most of the time, raised in Mississippi, born in a trailer camp and not living in a trailer camp, but he's a white man, he shot you, that makes you somebody. Good Lord, you somebody now. Oh, here they come. They're going to put you in a white horse-drawn carriage if a white man kills you. But you know, Malcolm, you do remember Malcolm X, don't you? You remember him? Well, he was killed by 4 black men. Blew him to kingdom come with shotguns and 38s in front of his family at the Audubon Ballroom back in February 1965. But they don't ever compare him to Malcolm. Because Malcolm ain't a saint. Oh, not because he was a Muslim. Oh no, don't you go there. Don't you say, well, the reason why I don't do because Malcolm was a Muslim. Nah, that ain't the reason. The reason why they don't compare him to Malcolm is because Malcolm wasn't killed by a white man. Now, if Malcolm had been killed by a white man, well, the story would be altogether different. Then we would still be sending flowers to Malcolm's family if he'd been killed by a white man. But it was a homie. It was 4 homies, quite frankly. They killed Malcolm. So you don't get sainthood. See, a black man's bullet ain't as good as a white man's bullet. See, a black man's bullet ain't, if you get killed by a black man's bullet, well, okay, you're dead. Like, for instance, this 7-year-old girl, Jason Adams, was killed over there at that Holmes Square McDonald's over yonder in Chicago the other night. Well, you get killed by a black man's bullet, well, tough luck. You don't cut the grade. No, we ain't gonna talk about you. We ain't gonna put you on the news. Go see, a black man bullet is like a black man. Ain't worth a damn thing. But now you killed by a white man, even though he's raised in a trailer camp, he has got no teeth, and he drinks and smokes, and he's married and raising his children in a trailer camp, but he's a white man. And white man shoot you? Well, we got to turn over heaven and earth. Hell, we got to march up and down everywhere we can march up and down and up everywhere we can. You got killed by a white man? Oh, Lord, have mercy. Ooh, we got to make you a saint. See, a white man's bullet is a silver bullet. A white man's bullet, woo, it transforms a former drug addict into a saint. You got killed by a white man? Oh. Malcolm, I'm sorry, my brother. I know you right down the street here. They named this boulevard out here after you, but I'm sorry, homie. Malcolm, I'm sorry you got killed by black men, brother. And the black man bullet ain't worth the same thing as the white man bullet. See, because the black man ain't worth the same thing as the white man. That's what they tell you. That's what black people believe. Oh, that's what they worship. That's what they live and die for. No. So bring in the clowns. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. I watched this yesterday. It was a zoo. It was a zoo. And you wonder, in case you want to know, I'll tell you. You might not be able to ask people, but you know me. I'm James David Madden. I'm the quintessential American. Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama, Al Sharpton was on his last leg. I don't know what it is that gives Obama such a thrill to hug Al Sharpton. I don't know what they got going on. But Al Sharpton was over. He had just come out of that CI-7. He'd been busted for drug sales. He snitched on the mafia. It was pretty much over for him. He had some encounter with Giuliani, but it was pretty much over. Al Sharpton had an office down in the Empire State Building on 34th Street and 5th Avenue, had a suite down there. He was 2 years behind in his rent. He kept going to court to avoid eviction. Finally, after Al Sharpton didn't pay rent for 2 years in the Empire State Building, they kicked him out. Wyatt Walker kicked him out in Canaan Baptist Church over here on 116th Street. He picked up a little rickety-dickety chicken shack on 145th Street where he put up his National Action Network. But he got kicked out of the Empire State Building for not paying rent for 2 years. They repossessed. He had 2 National Action Network vans. They repossessed those. He was on his way out. And then here comes Obama. And I don't know what it is that Al Sharpton does to Obama to make him grin. That boy, when Obama sees Al Sharpton, like Chris Matthews gets a funny feeling running up his leg, and Obama grins from ear to ear when he sees Al Sharpton. I don't know what Al Sharpton puts a thrill on Obama. Had him down at the White House 81 times down at the White House when he was president. Al Sharpton, and that's the ones we know about. Obama helped another guy too, Ben Crump. Ben Crump, one of the worst no-talking lawyers I ever seen in my life. Ben Crump. But Obama said if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin. Ben Crump ran over there. Ben Crump and Obama got together And it's been off to the races since then. Al Sharpton and Ben Crump have become now, if you will, the Martin Kings and the Jesse Jacksons. But Ben Crump has been at the side of Trayvon Martin family, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, and a bunch of others as well. He John on the spot, can't talk his way out of a paper bag, a wet one at that. But yet, that's who they. So I'm looking at this. I said, my God, if this is the statue, if you look at this photo and you look at these people standing there, and Jesse Jackson's back there. If you look to the left of Al Sharpton, Jesse is there. You know, Jesse suffered from Alzheimer's. All right, so I ain't gonna blame him for that. I can't blame Jesse for having Alzheimer's. It happens. But I thought to myself yesterday watching this, if this is the leadership of black people, God help us. If this assembly was what black people have, Ben Crump and Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, Mark Mariel was in that shot too. You can't see him, but he was there. Former mayor of down in Louisiana, New Orleans. I guess you have figured it out. There's Jesse right between Ben Crump. There's a little short woman standing in front of him. But that's him. That's him right there. And I don't know why he came out. He's got Alzheimer's, and I know he's been sick for a few years now. Anyway, I know that probably a lot of people disagree with me. But I've had drug-addicted people in our family. We prayed for them, try to help them, but we don't make them saints. And I think they're just doing a disservice. They're just doing a disservice. And let me close by saying this on this act number 2 of bringing the clowns. Since Dr. King and civil disobedience, more deaths of young black people have happened. More poverty, more imprisonment, and more fatherless children than you can shake a stick at. And it's only going to get worse. They had to kill a 16-year-old girl out there in Columbus, Ohio, I think, yesterday. Police had to shoot her. They're going to shoot more today. They're going to shoot them today. No, they are. I'm telling you something about these black people. They done gone crazy. And you can't talk to them. And by the way, I'm not just talking about people running a mill, shelter-dwelling welfare cheats, people uneducated. I'm talking black people. I'm talking about the likes of Eddie Glaude. I'm talking about PhDs from Harvard, like Cornel West. They're all the same. There ain't 2 cents worth of difference between a murderer, bank robbing thief sitting up in Attica prison right now in his mentality than Cornel West or anybody black that graduated from Harvard or Yale. Their mentality cognitively is the same. There ain't 2 cents worth of difference between all of them. I can tell you that right now. I've been around them long enough, and I speak as an expert. I'm an expert witness on the black man. I'm an expert. I done lived in every category. You compare me, put me in line, let's say you compare me to Cornel West. Well, okay, Cornel West was my professor. So obviously, I've been in the Ivy League institutions, but Cornel West ain't never worked on the chain gang. So bam, he don't know nothing about being in jail. All right, bring who you want to bring. Who you want to get, go get them. Who you want to get, work for the major corporation, go get them. Who you want to get. But who is it? Oh, you can go get somebody been beat by the police. I passed that test too. Been in prison, passed that test too. Graduated with a master's degree, passed that. I'm a founder of a school. Go get Booker T. Washington. I'm a founder of a school. Pastor of a church. Go get Dr. King. Go get who you want. I'm an expert on the black man. I am an expert, and perhaps the only living expert on the black man on the planet today is James David Manning. I'm probably the only one, but I definitely am. And I can tell you this. We are in trouble. And I'll put myself collectively there because they crazy as hell. I swear to God, educated, uneducated, drug addicts, pimps, liars, thieves. I have never seen such lunacy and craziness in all my days. Of all the things that have been said and done, I can tell you, the world for black people has never been as bad. I would prefer slavery. I do. I know you ain't gonna jiggy with that. By the way, I've held the hand of a slave, grew up Jim Crow. You name me somebody else who got that kind of credentials. But I'd rather be a slave than have the mentality of the average black man walking the streets of America today. I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.